So I guess there's some updates in terms of the payment processors for game aggregators. Sort of, I don't know, fight. I'm gonna say fight for lack of a better term, but we got Valve saying PayPal support is no longer available in some regions due to content concerns. Interesting. I got an article here about it. Valve explains why using PayPal for Steam purchases isn't currently an option in a whole bunch of countries. So obviously we know what's going on here. It's because of the fucking stupid collective shout letter bullshit thing that was finally ended up being successful. Because again, the people who run collective shout are a bunch of conservative prudes and dipshits who could care less at all about media and art, but just want to fucking censor things because they're too afraid of their kids actually learning something potentially from fucking video games. Because, as I've said before, conservatives do not see children as human. They see them as homunculi, as simulacra for them to imprint certain directives and orders upon them. It's all about society, or not society, but maintenance of hierarchy and control when it comes to conservatives and their fucking children. They fucking despise children. Why do you think conservatives tend to be the ones who fucking, well, rape kids the most? Because they don't respect them as human beings. Who would have thought? Oh, 1000% there, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, they do see them as AI agents, but what do we have here? Update. Valve has confirmed to RPS, aka Rock Paper Shotgun, that this withdrawal of support for Steam transactions by one of PayPal's acquiring banks is regarding content on Steam. Okay, again, it's talking about the game No Mercy. No Mercy was removed from Steam's fucking catalog the day before Collective Shout penned their fucking goddamn schizo letter on their fucking website, and they decided to go ahead with their stupid campaign. Because again, for these people, it wasn't about No Mercy. It's overall about shutting down media that would basically put out messaging that they disagree with. It's about media control, controlling the narrative for these people. That is the issue. Also, the fact that they're also just terrible fucking parents. If any of these people are even parents. Like, listen, maybe if you actually spent time with your kid and you actually cared about your kid, because again, most of the dumbasses who tend to be like these political activists for like collective shout tend to be well off fucking wives and well off fucking white people who can afford to spend more fucking time with their children, unlike most people who can't because they're too busy fucking working. So that's cool. Great. Related to what we've previously commented on surrounding MasterCard, in this case, one of PayPal's acquiring banks decided to stop processing any Steam transactions, which cut off PayPal on Steam for a number of currencies. A Valve spokesperson added. Original story follows. Okay, so this is the actual original story. Lovely. This was the update they put here. So Valve confirming that PayPal did withdraw support for Steam because one of their the main banks for PayPal, uh, I don't know, it doesn't matter which bank it is, just basically said like we're concerned about some of the content on Steam. It's either way, it's all fucking payment processor bullshit because again, Collective Shout could care less about media. They just want to fucking control narratives. If you've tried to pay for something on Steam via PayPal over the past month and a bit, only to be told you can't, Valve have now offered an explanation for as to why, pointing to a bank that previously handled PayPal transactions in certain currencies as having suddenly terminated supports. Folks in affected countries first noticed notifications informing them PayPal as was currently unavailable in their part of the world around a month ago. So this has been happening for about a month at this point. Crazy. There's been a steady stream of Reddit posts from folks who've gotten to check out, then to be told this since then. While those examples didn't see Valve offer any explanation for as to what's up, a player has now been directed to one, with the same message having been added to Steam's support page for purchasing issues. So again, we talked about this before, but the main reason why this is happening in particular is because of that collective shout penning of the letter, which was inherently fucking dishonest. And the banks decided to, instead of, I don't know, snub these like stupid schizophrenic fucking freaks who again for them it's not about fucking games and media. They fucking hate those particular things, and it's all about maintenance of hierarchy and control. They want to be the main people who defend the fucking not defend, but control the narrative. That's the real fucking thing. Uh, in early July 2025, PayPal notified Valve that their acquiring bank for payment transactions in certain currencies was immediately terminated. The processing was immediately terminating the processing of any transactions related to Steam. Valve wrote. This affects Steam purchases using PayPal in the currencies other than Euro, the Canadian dollar, the British pound, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, and the US dollar. So what? That's a bunch of Central and South American polities, right? They all use different versions of pesos. A bunch of places in Asia, the Russians, I assume Africa as well, a bunch of places in all of fucking Africa, the Middle East, shit like that. Hence, folks in in nations that don't use euros, pounds, yen, or dollars of the Canadian, American, Australian variety being unable to buy Steam's wares via PayPal. We hope to offer PayPal as an option for those currencies in the future, but the timeline is uncertain, Valve continued. We are also evaluating adding additional payment methods on Steam for the customers affected by this. In the meantime, please use one of our current payment methods during checkout. If you can't use any of the available options, you can consider using a Steam wallet code to add funds to your account. I've reached out to Valve and PayPal for comment. As of writing, it is unclear whether this is related to Valve's recent policy changes regarding adult content on Steam. Right, because again, no indication of that whatsoever, right? They said that they were going to change a bunch of their fucking content, or content policy regarding adult content, but as we all know, Collective Shout, it's not just about going after adult content. They are inherently dishonest. They tried to go after games like Don't Starve, go after stuff like Detroit Become Human, because it turns out Detroit Become Human has messages about civil rights in there. Nothing fucking really sexual in there in terms of pornographic material or women being abused. Maybe there's and I'm not sure. I don't know if there's anyone in chat who's played Detroit Become Human, but more than likely it may have been used as a sort of vestige to talk about here's how people can be really, really fucking abusive, because that's the actual kind of messaging that they're going after. They don't like the fact that particular narratives are pushed by games that are easily accessible by children who can potentially do a lot of damage and harm and undo a lot of the programming that conservatives teach their fucking children when they're very young. Again, like I've said before, conservatives do not respect the will of children. They do not see their children as human. They see them as simulacra, as homunculi, meant to have particular directives and thoughts implanted into them. That's the point. Which they claim they were in response to pressure from payment processors and other financial parties like acquiring banks, who themselves look to have been pressured by anti-porn campaign group Collective Shout. I don't agree with calling them an anti-porn campaign group. They are just a conservative group. That's it. The point is they are pushing Satanic Panic 2 electric fucking boogaloo bullshit. That is the point of all this. It might be unrelated, while Valve have only offered vague window of early July as the point when PayPal began backing out. The earliest Reddit post I found from someone affected is July 12th, which looks to predate the adult game/payment processor drama kicking off by at least a few days. At least now folks aren't left wondering if this is just a temporary outage or routine maintenance. Hopefully Valve can find some way to at least offer those using affected currencies more alternative options when they push their cart full of Euro Truck Simulator DLC and other stuff that's not Euro Truck Simulator DLC related to the till. Very, very funny. Good beam. Yeah, don't think there's really anything else to say besides the purpose of this by Collective Shout is the fact that they just want to control the fucking narrative that are being taught to children. Because they do not see children as human. They see them as people to manipulate. They don't give a fuck at all about the will of kids or the thoughts and beliefs of children. They want to control that for themselves. That is the point of all this. As expected from dumb fucking conservatives groups, they hate kids and they also hate themselves. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that.